it's Naseem here. Now, after using the iPhone SE3 for about a month now, the one thing that kept coming to my mind whenever I was using it on a day-to-day basis was this one simple statement that I think explains the SE pretty perfectly. And that statement is, I think that the iPhone SE3 is the best budget phone of 2022. And I say this because when you look at every other budget smartphone in 2022, the iPhone SE is the best choice when it comes to the most important things that you need in a phone. The iPhone SE has the best camera out of any budget phone. The iPhone SE has the best chip out of any budget phone. And last but not least, the iPhone SE has the best durability out of any budget phone. And people looked at the iPhone SE and wrote it off because Apple made it the exact same design as with any of the other SEs. But when it comes to practicality, this is the budget phone that most people should get. Because think about it. You'll be able to get many more years worth of updates, which means that you'll be able to stay with most of the new software features that iOS has to offer. You also have a very powerful chip that's the same as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which means that you'll be able to put your phone through the ringer for many years. And again, you have a very premium camera that captures really great photos and is still able to give you quality video footage as well. And those things are the most important to a majority of people, and this is why I say that the iPhone SE3 is the best budget phone in the market. Now, something that I really liked about the iPhone SE3 after 1 month of use was the truly amazing power. And again, if you guys didn't know, the iPhone SE3 has an A15 Bionic chip that is the exact same chip that you can find in the latest iPhones, starting from the 13 mini all the way to the 13 Pro Max. And if I'm being honest, I would say that the power held up really well. Like right here, you can see me playing a power heavy game and there are no hiccups whatsoever. There were even many times where I was on my phone while playing, and again, the phone didn't freeze or slow down on me, and the processor is what really made this phone feel fresh. And mind you, everything else on the SE3 is old, but the power makes this phone feel much faster and smoother. I also really like that whenever I was using power heavy apps, my phone would get hot, but not to the point where I should be concerned. Like on a lot of other budget phones, the back would get hot to the point where I couldn't hold it anymore. And if you are someone who is interested in buying the iPhone SE3, the one benefit is that it will last much longer than any other budget phone, not only because of the processor, but also because it will be able to update for the next 5 to 6 years. Now, the next thing that I thought was okay about the iPhone SE3 after 1 month of use was the pretty mid battery. Now, one thing that I liked about the SE3's battery was that if it wasn't using Google Maps or playing games, I could be able to make this phone last till the end of the day. I'll be doing things like watching YouTube, listening to music, talking, etc. And if you're just doing things like that, then this phone will definitely last you all day. But again, whenever I'll use power heavy apps like Maps, I will have 3 hours of on-screen time and my phone will last me until 4 p.m, which really wasn't that great at all. So I will personally say that if you are someone who will be using power heavy apps, then you should always keep your car, regular or portable charge on you so that your phone won't die unexpectedly. Now, the next thing that I liked and disliked about the iPhone SE3 after 1 month of use was the pretty okay display. Now, the reason that I liked the display on the SE3 was because even though it was smaller compared to other phones, I still think that in terms of resolution and quality, it held its own weight and left me pretty satisfied. The colors were vibrant, the sharpness was good, and the whole picture didn't compare to low budget specs. But that's where my likes about the display come to an end. Now, the first problem that I had with the display was that it wasn't that bright. Like whenever I would go outside and try to look on my phone, it was really hard to see when I turned the brightness up. And that's where the cheapness started to show. I also didn't like the fact that the screen didn't have a 120 Hz refresh rate like on a lot of other budget phones. Like, don't get me wrong, Apple makes pretty good 60 Hz displays, but I feel like the standard refresh rate for a phone is 90 to 120, and the fact that this still has 60 makes it seem very outdated. And now the last thing that I didn't like about the iPhone SE3 was the fact that Apple still decided to include those huge bezels that nobody asked for. And I felt like if Apple really wanted to, they could have made the screen like the iPhone XR or the iPhone 11, gave us a 720p display so that it will still be considered budget, and give us much more screen real estate. Like right here, you can see me watching a video and the bezels are so huge that there will be times where I can get distracted looking at my reflection, and that was a huge problem for me. But besides that, I wanted to watch a video and play a game to give you guys an idea of what the display is really like. Now, the next thing that I liked about the iPhone SE3 after 1 month of use was the pretty great software. Now, I really loved how great the iPhone SE3 was able to run iOS 15. Like right here, you can see me scrolling through the OS And throughout my week of using it, I was shocked that I didn't get any lags or hiccups along the way. I also really like that I was able to use some of the older features on my SE3, like being able to swipe up from my control center, being able to double tap to pull up tabs, and the Touch ID being integrated with my passwords was all something that made me reminisce. And for me, it was like a trip to the past combined with the software of the future, and that's why I think that people who enjoyed the older iPhones will really be happy with the iPhone SE3. And the last thing that I loved about the SE3 software was that it felt like it was made for this phone. Like I wasn't missing any significant features and was overall really satisfied with the experience. Now the last thing that I liked about the iPhone SE3 after 1 month of use was the amazing cameras. Now the camera on the iPhone SE3 was a bit surprising to me when it came to quality and light, because when you look at it on the outside, it looks as outdated as any older iPhone. But when we look at these daytime outside photos, we can see that this is where the camera was able to shine. My selfies were surprisingly good, the accuracy was on point, and the resolution was mildly sharp. Now when we look at the inside daytime photos, we can see that the camera was able to shine with good lighting. The sharpness wasn't always there, but was still acceptable. My skin tone looked really great, and the objects look really good. Next up, when we look at the outside nighttime photos, I would say that this is where you could tell the camera was budget. Now don't get me wrong, it was good for a budget camera, but if you post a pic on Instagram, then people will definitely know that it really did come from an older iPhone. Now the last environment was the inside nighttime photos, and again, it looks the exact same as the outside nighttime photos, but it does have a little more grain. Whenever the lighting was right, I was still able to capture a pretty good picture, and it could be better, but again, this still is a budget phone. Now when it came to video quality, I would say that this is the best budget video camera that you're going to get in the market. Every video I took was good, especially when the lighting was right. And to show you guys what I mean, here is a sample video. It's pretty nice. And there it is, you guys, my 1 month review of the iPhone SE3. Now let me know down below, do you think that the iPhone SE3 is the best budget phone of 2022? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it'll be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.